Following summer though, the final piece of the jigsaw, you could say, so to speak, was Stan Collymore coming in. Why did we struggle then? Did you think we could have done a lot better?
We probably could have done a lot better because we still had a decent side. Like you say, we had a few players come in. Stan had his troubles at that time as well, which probably didn't help us. But yeah, we were a lot better than we showed. When we still had some good results and whatnot. We have some great European nights. Atletico Madrid was an unbelievable night, but even though we got knocked out, but nights like that at Villa Park, they don't come along very often, and they've been sorely missed. But to play in front of a full to capacity Villa Park with one of the top teams in Europe was what dreams are made of. Because I never ever thought I'd be playing in Europe either. So when we had some really good nights in Europe, some really good games, and some tough ones as well, and some eye-openers like going to Romania. It's just eye-opening stuff. So, but all good experience, really, really good experience. But I'm sure Stan himself would turn around now and say that he didn't really show his best at Villa Park.
What could we not recreate that form in the league? Because like you said, the European nights we were on fire, and you personally, that was one of your best seasons. Like you were scoring most weeks. To be fair.
I had a good run in Europe, and maybe because they didn't like tracking midfield players. I don't know, but no, I always had sort of spurts of scoring, and where I'd score 3-4 games on the trot and win a few people a bit of money. But I was always a good bet. But I don't know. Sometimes. Yeah, you had a feeling as a player sometimes before, when you get up in the morning, you think, I'm going to score today. You just have that feeling, and you picture yourself scoring all the time, and you go out there and it does happen. But I was quite lucky sometimes to be in the right place at the right time. But I used to get in the box all the time, and more often than not, the ball gets in the box, doesn't it? So you just hope it lands to you, and you can put it away.
So there's not enough midfielders now like you, because players now, they either seem to be a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder. There's not as many box-to-box types nowadays.
I think the positions have got midfield players out of jail, because I think to be a defensive midfielder is quite easy, to be an attacking midfielder is quite easy, but to do both, like we did back in the day, the likes of Steven Gerrard and even Frank, who's just retired, to have the goal scoring record that he's got from midfield is unreal. Absolutely unreal, because no one will even touch that again. But and to be playing alongside the likes of those was fantastic. But like you say, they're few and far between now, midfield players that score a lot of goals. So I got my fair share. I'd have liked to have got more, but I think to be reliable was probably the best thing, really. I think the likes of John Gregory and Brian, they liked players that were reliable, and you could and you knew that could go out there and give you 8 out of 10 every week. So I'm sure he'd say that himself.
Well,
Mr.
he actually
Mr. Gregory
said that he sort of helped just inspire the team as they flew towards up the table. Obviously, he said to us previously how the form just totally changed and how he didn't expect to be there, so he just sort of went for it.
Yeah, and like I say, the time when he got to, I'm sure he got George Boateng in. When me and George were playing together, he absolutely loved it, because we just smashed everybody. He absolutely loved it, and because we were his type of players that would go in for every tackle, every header, and get a few goals from midfield, and never let him down. And he just liked players that wouldn't let him down.
He must have liked you because he was raving about Lee Hendry when we met him, but then you and George with Merson played ahead of him, so he must have liked you a lot, to be fair.
Right, yeah. But he did like Lee. Lee was a great player. It was good to play. Lee was just an absolute workhorse, but he was inventive and creative, and probably Lee, and even Lee as well as Stan, would probably turn around to you and say, he wished he'd have made more of his career, because he had the talent to do it.
We struggled one season, and it was the end of Brian Little. How much gratitude did you have towards him? Because obviously he was the guy that brought you into the club and everything else.
Yeah, I think we did end up having a struggle that season, and I think Brian was always the type that thought if he stopped enjoying it, he'd just pack it in, and he stopped enjoying it. And yeah, I'll always have a massive gratitude to Brian, because he got me out of a hole at Sheffield Wednesday, and I was still in his mind, and obviously thought I was a good player, and always played me. And like I said, he liked players that wouldn't let him down and give him 100% every week, as most fans do. And yeah, it was sorry to see him go, but we weren't having the best time, so it wasn't a surprise him going. But yeah, he just couldn't carry on the way it was going on, so he had to go.
And then John obviously came in, who you knew previously. Was it difficult him coming in, because previously he was a coach?
Yeah.
Was it weird him then coming in as a manager?
No, not really, because John, he'd always have plenty to say in the team talks and whatnot anyway. Yeah. So it was an easy thing to accept, and I think it was probably an easier thing for him to do as well, to make that transition from a coach to a manager. You probably couldn't be as close to the players as you were as a coach. Brian tried to add to the squad, and then John just tried to carry it on, tried to change a few things. You know, I think there was the odd occasion when I found myself sort of out the team because they were trying a few different things, but I was always the type that try and work hard and I'll get back in the team, and more often than not I did, which was good. But I always liked the challenge of when they brought in new players and tried to make the team better, and that would push me on and keep me going and get back in the team. So you know, it's one thing that I always strive to do is to be in that first 11.
Is that like professional pride, or is that because you were a Villa fan as well, that you wanted Villa to do
both,
well?
It's both really. I think professional pride. I hated being on the bench, even if I was coming back. There's a few times when I was coming back from injury, and I think I'd done my ankle or hamstring or something, and I hated being on the bench. I'd always warm up. I'd never sit down, because I always thought I don't want to be one of the ones when things aren't going well on the pitch that the manager turns around and says, "Go and warm up." Do you know what I mean? So I was always already up the corner flag warming up, because I hated that. But because the managers always took it out on the subs on the bench.
Oh really?
Yeah. They're the first ones to get it. So I never ever sat down. But yeah, I hated being on the bench, and I just loved playing.
With the image of Villa, Gregory changed in the 98-99 season, the likes of Staunton leaving and bringing the likes of Paul Merson into the club, and we stormed towards the top of the table. Was he just trying to change the whole image? What was it that he changed?
I think he was just trying to bring probably more experience into the team. I think, you know, Mercer had come from Arsenal. I think he'd come from Arsenal. I can't remember where he'd come from.
Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
But Mercer was still a good player. He's a really good player and a great character in the dressing room as well. And like you say, we stormed to the top. I think Steve Stone came in, Steve Watson as well. Good experienced players and internationals as well. And they did make us better at that time. And to go the top of the league was, I don't know, you just thought, can we really go and win the league, the Premier League? And I mean, it didn't last, but I think the squad told in the end. But it was great while it lasted, and to have us up there again and the fans being buoyant and happy was really something else.
Did you think we could win it? Did you ever realistically think?
At the time, like I said before, when you're getting the big boys come to town and you're beating them and giving them a good game, you just thought, why not? We knew we had the players that could do it, but we just couldn't sustain it. I can't remember if we got injuries at the wrong time, but you know, I think the big boys sort of recuperated, and then, you know, we got beat a couple of times and it set us back, and we couldn't recover from that really.
Yeah, John said we were he had a lot of nearly moments with Villa where we nearly did things. We always seem to have a really good start or go on a really good run. Then we used to have runs of form that we couldn't recover from. It's still the same. It's still the same now.
Yeah. Well, you'd have 5 or 6 games where we couldn't buy a win, and but that's just confidence, isn't it? I think that's where the top teams they'll lose a game and then bounce back straight away because they've got the characters and the mental toughness to do it. Maybe we didn't have the mental toughness to do it, but you know, you look and you think. I think all our fans want is to be at the top end of the table and giving the big boys a good scene to now and again. You know, they want teams to be coming to Villa Park and not having an easy time of it and giving them a good game. So, you know, they don't expect us to go out and win the league, but just to give a good account of ourselves.
When we spoke to John, he said that you were the only one that had the balls as such to tell him to stay in the stands when he had his touchline ban.
No, I was just the first one that said it. I think it was funny because we started playing better when he went up in the stand, and I'll always remember, what was the game when I think we got to the cup final and John was up in the stand and he put his Santa hat on. I can't remember what game it was, but he had to sit. I don't think he liked it because he had to sit upstairs with Doug, didn't he? So
yeah, he told us some good stories about Doug.
Who invented the overhead kick?
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a good bit of banter and it was a good laugh because we had good characters in the dressing room and we'd take the mickey out of the manager and John would take it on the chin and he'd have a bit of banter with us back. So yeah, it was good.
He touched on an occasion that I think it was Leeds. It was 1-1 about the 44th minute. So he ran downstairs to the changing room and then he come back in and it was 2-1. Might have been Everton.
He missed the goal.
Everton, he missed the goal. And then he came in to start battering you and then somebody nudged him and said you were winning.
He brought you on actually. He said he was bringing you on for Merson. Merson had just done something for the goal, got on an amazing run and we scored from it. And then he was planning to take him off at half time because he wasn't having a good game and he brought you on for him.
Well, that would have been a great decision.
Yeah. We won the game 2-1, so you knew what he was doing, didn't you? Knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good time under John. Like you say, we went top of the league, and I remember going to Southampton, and I think we won at Southampton, and John made the massive mistake of getting us to do a team photo, and it was like we'd won the league already, and I think that was our downfall really, because I think maybe it got into people's heads that we were probably better than we were, and so I'll always remember us taking that photo and some of us bobbing up and down like we'd already finished the season.
You did? Did you bob up and down?
Yeah, I did.
I thought you were going to say you didn't.
But only because somebody else did and I felt it. But yeah, you look back and you think, why did we do that? Because we were on fire at that time as well, and Dion Dublin was banging them in for fun, and you know, we had a really good team, and yeah, we just couldn't sustain it and fell away. I can't remember where we came that season.
6th, I think.
Yeah.
6th, yeah.
Yeah. But you know, but we should have been challenging really for the title, and it was a massive shame.
Yeah. Coventry beat us at home. I remember that being quite a low one. We got stuff 4-1, didn't we?
Oh, was that when George scored?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he never scored. Never ever scored when he played for us.
because we signed him after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had that good a game. John Gregory signed him. But yeah, to be fair, George, fantastic player to play with. He's probably one of the best midfield partners I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because we were similar in a type of way and didn't shirk anything. And like I say, John loved that. So I still speak to George now. He's part of the Villa setup now, George.
Who is it?
Yeah, scouting.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's good to have the likes of him involved in the club as well.
So that 99-2000 season, it's not really a question. This is more a wild statement from me. I think that was your best season. That's not the wild statement. That was your best season.
I can't remember.
Yeah. You were banging them in. Right. We played West Ham about 3 times in a month, and I think you scored.
Season. Yeah.
You scored every time.
Yeah.
I'd go as far as to say you're one of the best finishers I've seen at Villa, because you never really missed. One-on-ones and stuff. If you were one-on-one, I knew you'd score. Headers in the box, like I knew you'd score.
Oh, thanks, mate.
It's all right.
If I was in the post. Yeah, it's one of those. I always try to, it's something that I've never really practiced. Yeah. If you know what I mean. It's just something that, even from my non-league days, I sort of just all I tried to do was get my tackles in, win the ball, give it to players that were more skillful than me, and get in the box. Do you know what I mean? And I just had a really good engine where I could sort of get box to box. So I'd be defending 1 minute and then get in the box the next, and just try and get on the end of things. And like I said earlier, if you get in the box, more often the ball comes in the box, and you got a great chance of scoring, haven't you? I think the problem with midfielders now, they don't get in the box. So yeah, it's one thing that I strive to do, but it's not something that I really worked on. Sometimes in training I'd practice finishing with strikers and whatnot, but I didn't sort of overwork myself on it. But it's just timing, really.
Yeah. So like I said before, that 99-2000 season, that was your best season, and in my opinion, I thought you were worth an England call-up at that time. Yeah, Sven was trying everyone.
There were rumours that I was really, really close, but I think there was a week where I think a squad was being announced and I got bloody injured, and you know, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you're going to be in the squad. You're going to be in the squad." But then, you know, luck struck, and I got injured and wasn't in the squad. So, but I can't remember which season it was, but yeah, there was a time when I just couldn't stop scoring, and like you said, West Ham was just a lucky team for me. I can't remember if that was the season where we played Arsenal and we were 2-0 down at half time and we came back and won 3-2.
I think it was the one after.
Was it one after?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time for me, and I just remember those nights, and you know, running up in front of our fans when we were scoring and just seeing the fans' faces, and because them days you were right there, and it was just such a special feeling. You just can't relive those moments, and like I said, you know, West Ham fans still remember me because of those days.
They hated you. You always used to get in the England squad in my computer games. I always used to put you in FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer. You were always in the England team.
Closest I ever got.
Yeah, you were always on the pitch at Wembley.
I remember getting injured in the semi after about 20 minutes. If we get through to the final, I'm not going to play in that either. I had to graft to get back for that final. And to be fair to John, he put me in. You know, they scored early on, and J-Mo made a mistake, and we just couldn't recover from it. But like I said before, you pray that you go to those occasions and things click, and things just didn't click for us on that day. And to play in an FA Cup final as well, biggest competition like that, and not perform, it's one of my biggest regrets.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.